What's going on? What's going on, Film Fam? Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here with my main man, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, how you feeling this week one Sunday? Well, no, this ain't Sunday. How you feeling this week one, dog?
You already know, man. It's Wednesday, and I'm talking about with my dog, man. I'm feeling good, feeling great, man. We are on football's eve, Jack. We are on football's eve, man. This is football eve.
I had to catch myself, man.
Football on TV.
I had to catch myself, Willie Jack. I almost got too excited, man. I almost got ahead of myself. I started talking about football Sunday, man. I'm just too ready, man. I've been itching for some football for a long time now, man. And tomorrow starts the NFL season, man. Tomorrow is the kickoff, man. And of course, it's Wednesday, man. So we're gonna preview the game. But before we do that, man, we gotta jump into what today's episode is gonna look like, man. And today's episodes, we're gonna go into the 2023 NFL, season predictions, man. I'm talking about division winners. I'm talking about who's gonna be those wild card teams, who are going to be the matchups in the NFC and AFC championship games, who is going to be the Super Bowl matchup, man. We're gonna talk about all of that today, man. We're gonna predict everything, but even before that, we gotta jump into the house rules, man. House rules. First off, just like, share, and subscribe. Same as always, same each and every week. We appreciate each and every one of your support, man. Become the newest member of the Film Fam. You know what I mean? Talk to us. We talk back, as my dog Willie Jack likes to say each and every time. And there's one more thing, man. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You hit that notification bell, I guarantee you we're going to let you know what's going on. We're going to keep you updated on what's going on. Anything new we got coming out. Hey, and I guarantee you we will not let you down. All right. Now, before we jump into the news, okay? Before we jump into the news, it's been a couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? So we got some news for you for sure. But before we jump into the news, man, I got one little update for y'all in terms of the NFL Weekly Pick'em, all right? The NFL Weekly Pick'em, your boy Chop done found an easier way for us to get it done, all right? So this is what we're going to do. Anybody that's in this chat right now that wants to participate in the Let the Film Speak Weekly Pick'em, shoot your email address, man. Put your email address in the chat right now. That way I can send you the invite. You can join it. All you got to do is click and pick from your phone, man. We picking all the games from the Yahoo Sports app. That's it, man. The Yahoo Fantasy Sports app. That's where we're picking the games from. Make it real easy. I will still keep track of all the wins. So at the end of the season, we know who's getting that award, man. But my dog Willie Jack brought the trophy home last year.
Hey,
I guarantee we're gonna bring it home this year.
Yeah, I was just about to say, man. So, just like you said, man, don't matter. I can whoop y'all on Yahoo. I can whoop y'all in Chop's Notepad. Either way it goes, wherever y'all feel like getting y'all tail handed to you, show up there and be ready.
For sure, man. So anybody that want to participate, I already got a few participants. We already got them set and ready to go, man. So make sure you shoot your emails to me, man. I'll make sure we get that invite going, and all you got to do is pick each and every week. All right, so that's how we doing it with the weekly pick'em this year, man. So if you're interested, go ahead and put it in there, man. Put your email address, and we can get you squared away. Now let's jump into the news, Willie Jack. Now let's go ahead and jump into that. We missed a few different things that didn't happen over the last couple of weeks with us taking that week off, ramping up for the season, man. And the first bit of news we're gonna touch on today, man. Trey Lance, former first round pick of the San Francisco 49ers, Trey Lance was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a fourth round pick. All right. And in my opinion, Willie Jack, I'm going to touch on this one really quick. I feel like it was a perfect landing spot for Trey Lance, man. He can sit behind someone who has similar traits as him, a similar skill set to sit back and learn a little bit. I was a big fan of Trey Lance coming out, man. I was pretty high on him, but it's pretty evident that in order for him to come out and have any chance of being successful, he's going to need to sit and learn and get some more reps, throw the ball a lot more in practice and see it at the NFL level in order for him to have that chance. So I think it's a good landing spot for him. But on the other side of that, though, what does that mean for the Cowboys? What does that mean for Dak? Are they planning for Dak to be out at some point? Is Trey Lance, are they going to be trying to groom Trey Lance to become the starter at some point? Those are all questions that need to be asked. And then the last aspect of that, too, the 49ers. I think on their end, this was a good move for them. They just went ahead, chunked it up, took the loss. Cool, man. Sometimes you have those things, man. Sometimes everything doesn't work out. So with that being said, for them, they take the loss. They get rid of Trey Lance, their former first-round pick. They get something out of it, a fourth-round pick, which is not cheap, by the way. They get a fourth-round pick, but then they also they get a chance to clear their heads and move forward with everybody on the same page in terms of, all right, Brock Purdy is our starter. This is how we're doing this. This is how we're moving forward, and this is just what it is. So, great move on all sides, in terms of my opinion. Willie Jack, what's your thoughts?
I like the move for Dallas because I think what you said about Trey Lance having a similar skill set to Dak, and honestly, I hadn't really looked at it in that way. I hadn't thought about it like that. But then when you said that, and I really kind of like that analogy, especially like a young Dak as well, because he's not as tall as Trey Lance, but Dak's about 6'2", 240. So I mean, he's built like Tim Tebow was, and Trey Lance I think is closer to 6'4" and about 235, 240. But both of them are athletic guys, but they're power runners though. You know what I mean? So they're not scat guys like Lamar, like Justin Fields, but they can still move and do work with their legs, but with more of a power run style. Both of them have decent enough arms, but struggle with accuracy. And so, like hearing you say that, and it really put in perspective, like, okay, yeah, Trey Lance could be seen as an extremely raw Dak Prescott. So I really like that analogy, and I like that move even more now for Dallas. Like you said, a fourth-round pick on a guy that still had first-round talent. So I wasn't a big Trey Lance guy, but there were numerous people, my boy Chop included, that were super high on this guy's potential. So there can't all that the potential that everyone that saw in him or the amount of people that saw that much potential in him, they can't all have been wrong. You know what I mean? So a fourth-round pick on this guy ain't, like I said, you don't want him to do nothing but be the best backup he can be. You know what I mean? So it's hard to take a loss there. This, on the other side for San Francisco, is just the conclusion to a massive draft blunder by Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And so they gave up tons of draft capital. You get fleeced by the Chicago Bears to move up to one spot, and then a guy who I think when it's all said and done starts less than 10 ball games for your club, and you replace him with a seventh-round Mr. Irrelevant in Brock Purdy. So tremendous draft failure on behalf of Shanahan and Lynch, but awesome deal for Dallas. So I think Dallas definitely smoked this deal.
Absolutely. And the funny part is that with this being a tremendous or a terrible pick for the 49ers, it's almost like they didn't lose a beat, man. They didn't lose a beat. They've still been getting into the playoffs. They've still been a very competitive team. That's crazy, that you can make that big of a mistake in the first round, but still be a team like, hey, we still one of the tops, man. So, hey, I guess kudos to Shanahan. A lot of credit goes to Shanahan and the team that they built around there. So, there's that. In other news, Josh Jacobs, man. Josh Jacobs signs a 1-year deal with the Raiders up to $12 million. And Willie Jack, this is one we have been talking about for a little while now. We've been talking about running backs, hashtag pay the backs. We've been talking about that for a lot of this offseason, man. I feel like we've been going back and forth with this on this subject for a long time between Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, even Tony Pollard, and a lot of those other guys that's been looking to get paid. Even guys like J.K. Dobbins, was looking to try to get paid over there in Baltimore. That's a different story. But we've been talking about a lot of different guys. And the thing with Josh Jacobs, and I said this from the very, very, very beginning, man, Josh Jacobs is like the personality of this Raiders team, man. He's going to go through a wall for his team. He's going to do anything you ask him to do. He'll play special teams if you ask him to. He'll do whatever it is that's needed of him to, help his team win. So for him, it was like, look, man, I know what type of leverage I have. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit out. I'm not coming here for the preseason. I'm not playing no preseason games. I'm not participating in training camp. Call me when it's time, to start game prepping, to start getting ready for week 1. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as that preseason was over, that boy said, all right, yeah, ready to make a deal now. I'll sign this 1 year, $12 million, because, hey, y'all ain't going to run me into the dirt and make me do all this stuff, man, and me lead the league in rushing. And this is what happened. So this is a card that I can actually see more running backs playing in the future, really, Jack. I can see more running backs saying, all right, look, I already know y'all ain't finna give me no contract. If y'all are, cool, let's sit down, we can talk a contract. But if not, all right, I'll see y'all maybe a week or two before the season start. I'll be back, and then we can sign that contract, and then I can run the ball for you. You know what I'm saying? So Josh Jacobs gets his deal signed. He's there with the team, man, and of course, he'll be that number 1 back going into week 1 of the season.
Okay, yeah, and the my whole thing with this deal, especially even when it started with Saquon when his got announced, is, and maybe I don't understand the rule on the franchise tag, because in my mind, signing the 1 year contract must somehow void the opportunity for the team to franchise you that next year, because that's the only way I can see it being a benefit. I mean, maybe he makes. I think his deal made him a little more than the franchise tag. I think the franchise tag was 10-6, if I'm not mistaken, and so his deal is, I think, what was worth up to 12 or 12-1. But because if he can still be franchised next year, then I don't see how the situation changes much. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe there's something else to it that I'm just not privy. So maybe signing this 1 year deal then prohibits them from franchise you that next year. Because if that's not the case, then all you did was kick the can down the road. And so why not get the franchise tag and then next year be guaranteed to be able to probably more so hit free agency, because they won't want to pay the double dip free agent tag price. But so I'm not sure, man. I mean, I gotta figure it. I'm not sure exactly where's the benefit there. But I'm glad he's getting his money though. I mean, I'm glad. I want to see him on the field. And I'm glad he's going to get a decent bag to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad he's there too. So, hey, like you said, Willie Jack, we'll see how things go. And it's we've seen things and deals happen during the season as well. So, I mean, I don't know if that'll happen with him, but I wouldn't put it past, a few of these guys have signed 1 year deals, for the season. So, we'll see what happens. Um, In other news, Willie Jack, in other news, we go to some tight ends, man. We're gonna talk about TJ Hockenson, man. TJ Hockenson signs a 4 year deal worth up to $68.5 million with $42.5 million guaranteed. I don't think we hollered him yet, Willie Jack. I think it's about time you hollered at your young Dolph on this one.
Hey, Lexa, Q the King, Dolph, get paid, man. What you said, man? 4 for 68, highest paid tight end in the league. Man, congratulations, man. And that's what's so crazy too. A guy that was drafted with pretty high potential, or thought pretty high. I think he was a tight end that went top 10, top 10, top 11 out of Iowa. Goes to Detroit, and Detroit just can't find any use for him at all. They give him away in division, and then it feels like half a season later, now he's the number one highest paid tight end in the history of the game. And so it's just crazy, just like you said, man. Sometimes your situation, just how much that can play. The same player left and went to a different team in the same division, and now he's a guy considered at the top of the league and his highest paid. But no, well deserved, well earned, man. Always happy to see these guys get paid. So I love to see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you there, Willie Jack. Definitely there with you. In other news, another bag, Willie Jack, another bag. All right, Nick Bosa. And this is the more recent one because he signs his today, man. Nick Bosa signs a massive 5 year deal worth $170 million that includes $22.5 million guaranteed. Willie, holler at him one more time. I think it kept going and it turned off a little bit. So
Alexa, run it right back. Run it back 2 more times. Play that young dog, get paid. Get paid, bag secured, legendary bag. Look at that, boy. Love to see that.
For sure, man. So Nick Bosa, he gets paid, man. This deal makes him the highest paid defensive player in the NFL today. Led the league in sacks last year, over 30 sacks in the last 2 years, man. And if the 49ers want to continue to compete, this was a deal that made a lot of sense. Of course, he was holding out because he felt like he was worth more money. He wanted to get paid top dollar. He's been playing like a top dollar defensive end, so hey man, if you wanna stay in contention, you wanna go for it all. That's a player you gotta have in your building. Just like Dallas Cowboys, you gotta have your Zach Martin. Just like the Chiefs, y'all need to have y'all Chris Jones, in which we'll get to at some point. All these guys you gotta have in your building if you want to compete at the highest level and possibly win that Super Bowl, man. So the 49ers, y'all did what y'all needed to do. Y'all went and got your boy. You had to pay a bag for it, but you went and got what you needed to get, man. Willie Jack, what's your thoughts?
Man, selfishly, I was hoping that he wouldn't sign this deal for maybe another 4 days, so that he probably wouldn't be able to play, or wouldn't be really ready to play in the game against the Steelers on Sunday. But either way, now he can take that trip and take that ass back home with him as well. So, but congratulations though for 170 M's, man. That's big bread, man. And I know this ain't making things any easier for Kansas City and Chris Jones, man, because everybody's seeing these deals now. I tell you who's probably most excited to see this deal as well is Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons will be up after this year. It'd be time for Micah Parsons to start talking to Jerry about his money. And so this is also a big contract for him as well.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. So I'm there with you, man. We're gonna see what happens with that, man, and we'll see who getting all that money, man. But now, I think that's all the news we got, Willie Jack. You got something else you want to throw at me, man? Or you good?
Man, I'm ready to get into it, man. I'm excited for this.
All right. Well, since you're ready to get into it, I ain't gonna make you wait no longer, man. We're gonna get right into it. As I talked to y'all about in the beginning of the show today, we're gonna talk about the season predictions, man. I'm talking about division winners. I'm talking about wild card spots. I'm talking about NFC and AFC championship games. I'm talking about Super Bowl teams, what that matchup is going to look like. Willie's going to try to predict it, as I always say, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? So my doggone, he gonna give it a shot, and then I'm going to come back and tell you what it is. We also have football tomorrow night, so once we finish up with these predictions, we gotta predict the game, man. We gotta predict the game. We're gonna tell y'all who we think is gonna win tomorrow's Thursday night game. And hey, we got
yes, sir.
NFL kickoff going. Hey, so without further ado, Willie Jack, I think we should start with the NFC, man. I'm gonna start with the NFC North. I think we should go ahead and call the NFC North division winner, man. I think me and you both have the same team. If you sticking with what you said. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go through the NFC, go through the wild cards, and then we'll turn it back over to the AFC, and then we'll hit the playoffs. How you feel about that? You good with that?
No, I'm with it. Let's do it.
Perfect. So let's start with the NFC North, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, tell me right now, who is your NFC North? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm staying with Green Bay, and so when I went through it, I guess more responsibly now, like I said, outside of it being just a bold prediction, but I really went through it. And I think honestly, man, I think they quietly take a step forward, and I think Minnesota may quietly take a step back. I don't necessarily believe the hype in the Lions, and I think we do get a surprise push from the Bears to make a lot more noise this year than maybe we anticipate. But I think they can still come away with this division.
Okay, got you, Willie Jack, and just like you, man, I'm going with the Green Bay Packers as well, man. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. I looked at all the teams in this division. Of course, the team that's getting the most hype out of this division is probably the Detroit Lions. Okay, the Detroit Lions, and noteworthy so, like they should be. You know, with all the moves they've been making, this team has been really solid, well grounded, and well coached. They got a solid foundation. We know what Jared Goff is going to do. They got a lot of weapons. They've added some pieces on defense. So with everything that they've done, you know, most people expect this team to really be there. Now, my reservation for picking the Detroit Lions for winning this division is I don't know if we're going to get that same Jared Goff we got last year. Last year, like I said before, and I say time and time again, Jared Goff was a top 10 quarterback. And I think he played the best football I've seen him play. And like, of course, I'm a Rams fan. So before he's with Detroit, he's with the Rams. You know what I'm saying? Putting up a lot of points with Sean McVay in that offense. So it's not like he was looking like a chump over with us. But in terms of his ability to do everything he needed to do from the quarterback position, I felt like this past year was as good as it gets for him. So I think that may have been his peak. I expect them to take a little small step back. I still think they'll be a very, very competitive team, but I don't necessarily got them winning this division. The Packers, on the other hand, I think are the more complete team. I think they have a solid defense. They have pieces on all levels, from the linebacker to the defensive backs. And on offense, they got a lot of pieces too. Now, the key for them is going to be two things, I think. Their receivers taking the next step, and the biggest question mark of all, which I'm pretty sure everybody can predict, is Jordan Love. All right. And here's my thing with Jordan Love. Of course, I looked at him in the preseason. I thought he looked pretty good. He's always had touch on the ball. He's probably had maybe the best arm talent coming out of the draft, just in general, just with his overall ability in throwing the ball in the draft that he was a part of. But him having the opportunity to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for 2 years, I think is going to has done him wonders, and I think it's going to show when he starts and he starts these games. I think he's going to be a quarterback that's not going to make many mistakes, which will allow the rest of his team to kind of pick up slack and then win games more as a team versus just on the quarterback's back. You know what I'm saying? So I think overall, the way this team is constructed, the Packers are ready to take over this division, man. I got them winning it over the Bears and the Lions and Minnesota. Minnesota is one-sided. They all they got is an offense. And the Bears, they got a couple splash players, but their defense is still suspect too. They got rid of a few good pieces this past season, and I don't know how they're gonna replace them. So that's how I feel about this particular division.
Man, yeah, man. Hey, man, shout out to our dog, man, Skinny. Our dog for real good STL Sports in the building, man. He in the chat talking a little spicy, man. He came in and said he had some hot takes. He's got the Lions winning that division, man. He thinks they get a push from Minnesota. But yeah, nah, man. So that's why I told Skinny, man. I said he really drinking that Lions Kool-Aid. So this sounds like our dog Skinny, man, the real deal STL. He's all in on these Lions, man, and all the hype they've been getting. Honestly, man, I like those pieces, man, but rookie Jamar Gibbs, like I said, I don't know what I'm going to expect from him just coming in the door. They bring in a couple new pieces and new faces on defense that I think are going to make that unit better. But how long does that take to gel or hit? Jack Campbell's a rookie linebacker now. He's expected to be the kind of new leader of that defense. So they still got some things to contend with. And I think quiet is kept, man. I think Green Bay and Jordan Love are going to be that old, reliable, that kind of slow and steady constant throughout that division, man. And I think they ease on through and win that thing. But I think it's going to be a dog race, though. I think it's going to be one of those where it's 11 wins it. I think 11, and two of the other teams may have 10 wins. Chicago's going to be right around there with 8 or 9 and make it close. But I think it's going to be a real tough-fought division.
Oh, and not to mention, Willie Jack, I forgot, Matt LaFleur is going to show you what he's about, baby. Matt LaFleur is going to show you what he's about. I forgot to mention that, just so y'all know, man. Just so I know, Matt LaFleur is a top 10 coach in this NFL, man. He's gonna show y'all.
Now, this will be the year.
He's been tied to Aaron Rodgers for too long, man. He's gonna show y'all this year, man, what Matt LaFleur is about. All right.
Yeah.
But Willie Jack, let's go move on to the next spot in the NFC, man. Let's go to the NFC South. All right, and I'll let you. And actually, you went first on the last one, so I'll go ahead and start off with this one, man. I got the New Orleans Saints in this particular division. Okay, and the reason why is I think the New Orleans is another one of those teams that had a lot of pieces already in place. Okay, offense and defense, they had a lot of those pieces, but what they did is already they brought over a proven quarterback, somebody that has already shown that they can be pretty solid. You know what I'm saying, from the jump, which immediately made him the best quarterback in this division. Okay, and I think it's not close at all. You got the Atlanta Falcons. They have a second-year quarterback in Desmond Ridder, who didn't look too good this past year. Then you got a rookie. I mean, not rookie. But you got Tampa Bay. They got Baker Mayfield. You know, bringing over that. Y'all know how I feel about him. I ain't gonna even go in on your boy. And yeah, you do got the rookie. You got the rookie in Carolina's Bryce Young. Now, I do think Bryce Young could have a solid season, but that offensive line, man, needs a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? So a rookie quarterback behind a banged up and rough offensive line, I think they're just screaming for a rough start for the Carolina Panthers. So I'm going with Saints. They have everything in place for Derek Carr to come in and operate this team at a high level. They also have one of the weakest schedules amongst, you know, a lot of the other teams. So I expect them to run away with this division pretty easily, with the Atlanta Falcons not being too far behind them with what they're building. And I do like what Atlanta Falcons have been doing the last few years. They've been building some pieces too. I just think that the difference is going to be the quarterback position. So I got the New Orleans Saints taking this division, man.
No, and honestly, man, we're gonna go 2 for 2 on this one because I also got the Saints winning this division, and I think it's just like you said, they're the most established team, the most veteran. I think they're the most established veteran roster in that division. And now they bring in, even though they have a new quarterback, everybody in that division has a brand new quarterback, but they have an established. Derek Carr is still a franchise quarterback. Now, maybe now he's dropped a tier. He's a lower tier franchise quarterback, but Derek Carr is still a young enough proven starter, and things soured on him there in Oakland. But just what the story from year to year makes, because 2 years ago he was a hero in that town, and then this last year he leaves crying in a press conference. But he's still a very capable quarterback. They've got excellent weapons there. So as remarkable or as impressive as Gary Wilson was last year winning the Offensive Rookie of the Year, well, his old schoolmate Chris Olave was just as dynamic in New Orleans, and he was catching passes from the Red Rifle and Jameis Winston. And so he's still very solid. Who knows what we're going to get from Michael Thomas. Now it feels like he hasn't played good ball in 3 seasons, but he's there as well. And so he's actually got some motivation now because I'm sure he wants to get cash one more check, cash one more bag before it's all too late as well. Alvin Kamara, we found out he's not going to miss as much time as we thought. They still brought over Jamal Williams. That defense is still stout. And so, yeah, they got all the pieces now to make a real run. And then just like my dog Chop said, You've got rookie quarterback Bryce Young in Carolina. You've got Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, and you've got Desmond Ritter in Atlanta. And so that sounds like a cakewalk in that division as well. So we're going with the Saints.
I got you. Got you. All right, Willie Jack. Well, let's keep on pushing, dog. Let's go to the NFC East. NFC East. All right. Now, this is where it gets a little funky, but hey, I think we're going to go 3 for 3, Willie Jack. I think we're going to go 3 for 3. Who you got coming out the NFC East, my man?
Oh man, Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles, man. I really think that the Philadelphia Eagles are poised to get right back, pick up right back off where they left off last regular season. So I see no reason why this team isn't still trending up. And so you lose a stud player like Javon Hargrave, and honestly, when it's all said and done, I think you improve the defensive line because what's my dog for Georgia?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
Or Jordan Davis. Which one are you talking about?
Jalen Carter is and will be an absolute animal on that defensive interior. And so I think you even get better losing an 11 sack, established Pro Bowl style veteran in Javon Hargrave, and I think you improve that defensive line. Not enough to mention all the other pieces that we've got going on there. I still love the progression and evolution of Jalen Hurts. He came so far and showed us so much this last year. Signed a massive bag as well. And I've already told y'all, for me, this is the Jalen Hurts MVP year. So this is an MVP season right now. And so I definitely think those Eagles resume the spot that they had last season as the most dominant team and running through this regular season for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm with you on that one, Willie Jack, too. I'm with you on the Eagles coming away with the NFC East. I think they are they're going to be coming back with a vengeance, man. They are upset. They are a team that they tasted it last year. They had. I'm sorry. No. I ain't no hold on because I got you on that one. Don't worry about it. I know what you're thinking. I got this.
Okay, yeah.
So I got you there. I think they coming back with a vengeance this season. I think they got a sour taste in their mouth from that Super Bowl, especially Jalen Hurts having that one mistake. He's going to come back and say, "Hey, man, I'm going to be even more on point," because that's the type of attitude that he has. He's going to come back into this season. They're going to be ready to go. They are going to be the team that, again, a lot of people don't want to play. Here's the other part. What is this offense going to look like, though? I want to know. Is this offense going to look exactly the same, with the Eagles losing their offensive coordinator? Is this defense going to look exactly the same? Are they going to lead the league in sacks with their defensive coordinator also leaving? Those are a few things I think won't quite be the same. They may not have as much production, but I still think they're going to be good enough to win a lot of games and be the team that eventually comes away with this division. We know what most people would consider is just one other team that can really compete with them in this division in terms of winning it, and that would be the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, but I just don't think that in the regular season that this team will have what it takes and will be able to get over all the humps necessary to overcome the Eagles. So yes, I'm with you, Willie Jack. I'm going with the Eagles in this matchup. All right.
Yeah, because you was big team Dallas, man, just not too long ago, big dog.
Don't worry about me. I got this. My stuff gonna be consistent, okay?
All right.
My stuff gonna be consistent. All right.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was.
Don't worry about me, brother. Don't worry about me. So let's move on, man. Let's move on to the last division. The last division now. Now, this is where we're going to see what you're talking about, Willie Jack. I'm going to move over to the NFC West, and I'm going to get mine out the way. 49ers winning this division, and I don't think it's going to be close at all. I think it's going to be pretty easy. I think they're going to run through it. I think that this is another team that has a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth because of how it ended. It wasn't necessarily, with everybody healthy. It was just the way we lost our quarterback. They didn't think they even had a fair chance to compete in that NFC Championship game just for the simple fact that, we was crippled. We was crippled going into this. So with that being the case, it's like, all right, now we got all our pieces back. Brock Purdy has shown that he's back and he's healthy. He's ready to go, ready to throw for these 4,000 yards and these 30 touchdowns this season. Like I told y'all and I predicted, you know what I'm saying? We just signed our boy. He's back. He got the big bag. We still got all the other pieces in place. So now we just got to get on the field and play. That's all we need to do. We're going to get on this field, play ball, you know what I'm saying? We're going to win these games. We're going to do what we need to do. All right. And as long as you got guys like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and bringing over Javon Hargrave, that defense is going to look nasty again. You know what I'm saying? So 49ers winning this division pretty easily. I don't think they're going to have much competition in this particular division. So, yeah, I got 49ers coming away with this one, dog. What you got, Willie Jack? Talk to me.
Look, man. I already told you San Francisco ain't making the playoffs. Now, you done already took that information. That's insider information. All right? I didn't tell y'all. I was in the meeting when we wrote the script for this upcoming season. I didn't tell y'all that part. I tried to give y'all some inside information right now. All right? The Niners missed the playoffs. Y'all ain't want to listen to me. Now, the correct answer to the test, Chop, is the Seattle Super Seahawks. The Seattle Super Seahawks.
The Super Seahawks.
Pete Carroll.
Huh? So you went from the Seattle Super. Hold on, it's not the Seattle Supersonics. It's the Seattle Super Seahawks.
The Super Seahawks. Because the Supersonics need to be back. The Super Seahawks, I got you. Man. Because Pete Carroll is back in his bag, man. Pete Carroll's back in his bag. I like what they've done now. I
tell you like this. If that defense letting other quarterbacks, if they letting Pete Carroll carve them up like he did in practice, they're gonna have some trouble. Pete Carroll was out there running sprint, throwing no look passes on that defense. Hey man, if Pete Carroll throwing no look passes on the defense, that's gonna be the Legion of Doom, not the Legion of Boom.
Hey, look, Pete Carroll know the secret sauce, man. Pete Carroll know the secret sauce, but everybody else ain't got it like that, man. Because I think they really got a lot of pieces that could recreate that old formula that they had. And so, man, y'all know the names, man. So Tariq Woolen, he's going to take another step forward now, coming off a season in which he was tied for the league in interceptions as a fifth-round rookie. And so now he's back. Devon Witherspoon, man, absolute animal, absolute dog, man. One of my favorite guys in this whole draft. He finds his way over there, and he's definitely got some boom to bring back into that fold as well. Jamal Adams is now coming back happy and healthy and motivated, hungry, and ready to go. And a name that we kind of forget about because it feels like we haven't got to see him play ball in about 2-3 years. But last time we did, it was damn good. And so now he's back as well, man. And so we still see what they did on that offense, man. Geno Smith leading the league in completion percentage last year. And I'm here to tell you, it wasn't dink and dunk. That boy was up the field with it. You know what I'm saying? And so now you add Jackson Smith and Jigba to Tyler Lockett in another year with DJ Metcalf as well. I mean, there's weapons everywhere. I think that Seattle really establishes a firm hold on that division in my mind, man. And I think they definitely, win this division. I think by a few games over San Francisco.
NFL bold predictions, man. You missed the episode last week. You would have heard my dog.
Come on, man. You can take that to the bank.
Bold predictions episode, man. That might have been the boldest one that we
take that to the bank, man.
I don't know. All right, Willie Jack. We went through each division winner for the NFC. Now I think it's time for us to call out some wild card spots, man. 3 wild card spots. Who's going to be the 5 seed, the 6 seed, and the 7 seed? And actually, we're just finishing on up. Once we finish up with these wild cards, give me the seed numbers for each of your teams, man. That way we can run it down, all right? So, First and foremost, let's touch on the wild cards, man. So, who is your first wild card team in the NFC?
Okay, first, so the 6. All right, so the 6 seed, right? 6 and 7 wild card.
5 seed. It's 14.
Well, 5 isn't a wild card though. Well, it isn't considered a wild card.
5 is a wild card.
Yeah, I thought it was 6 and 7. Okay. All right, number 5 for me is where I've got. Wait, should we be counting down? 7 and 6.
You however you want to do it.
I feel like we're supposed to be revealing. Yeah, if you're going that way.
Okay, well, give me your 7 then. Give me your last playoffs team.
No, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe we should have did it that way. All right, number 5. No, I'm thinking about it. Okay, yeah, because who's the team that sneaks in? You're right. You're right, Chop. Number 5, I got Dallas, man. This is where I got Dallas. So for me, I think Philly definitely, like I said, comes out dominant. I think they run away with that division. But I definitely think Dallas is in position to be a firm number 2. So I think they're definitely. I like the improvements they made on defense. The addition of Stephon Gilmore. I can't wait to see how he affects. I can't wait to see how Trayvon Diggs looks and plays now that he's across from Stephon Gilmore, man, and soaking in all that knowledge firsthand. The evolution of Michael Parsons. I think me and Chop both had Michael Parsons as our defensive player of the year prediction for this year as well. So I'm definitely expecting an absolutely terrific year from him as well. And now Mike McCarthy, what he does to get get back a firmer grip on this offense and maybe draw a little bit of this offense away from Dak and maybe back into the play caller's hands just a little bit and see if we can't clean up Dak's mistakes. He hit a career high in interceptions and led the league just last year. So, but that all said, they're still so talented that I still think that when all the dust settles, this is going to be a team that, if not for Philly, maybe could have been contention to be an upper seed.
Okay, gotcha. And they also my number 5 seed, Willie Jack. I think they lose this division maybe no more than a game or two. That's it. They won't. It won't be a widespread in this division. They're gonna compete until the last couple weeks of the particular season for this division, the same way they did this past year. But like I said before, I got the Eagles winning it. But the Cowboys are gonna be a dangerous team for anybody to play too. Their defense is reloaded. They are newly motivated. Led by Michael Parsons. I think Michael Parsons is truly embracing that leader role this year, and not only just being the dominant player that he is, but also taking players with him, holding people accountable, raising the level of play of the players around him, which is going to raise the level of play of players, not only just on their defensive side of the ball, but on the offensive side of the ball too, which is why I think so highly of this Cowboys team. So I think we're going to see a lot of that. And yes, the Cowboys are going to be that 5 seed for me. And this is actually going to be one of those teams where, yes, they automatically are a 5 seed because they didn't win their division, but their record could be better than the NFC East winners, the NFC South winners. They could have second or third best record in that NFC. So I can see the Cowboys being that particular team. So yes, they are my first wild card team.
Gotcha. I'm on the same page with you.
For sure. My next wild card team, I'm gonna go over to Detroit, man. I think Detroit does make the playoffs. I know they're getting a lot of hype, in terms of being in control of the division. I don't necessarily have them winning the division, but I do got them squeaking in. I got them making the playoffs. I think that what Dan Campbell has built, I think it's their time. They're deserving of that. I think they got the pieces in place. I think what they have started with and what they built thus far is going to be solid, and I think it's not going to be the well-oiled machine. I'm not going there, but I think what they're going to do and bring to the table is going to be consistency and the way they just approach the game. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be ready for each and every game. It's not going to be a team we're going to say it's not coached well enough or whatever the case may be. They're going to be ready for these games, man, and I expect them to be another playoff team going into this postseason.
Okay. So you drink a little bit of that Detroit Kool-Aid as well. I didn't buy the Kool-Aid, man. I think we get, in my mind, man, I imagine they're going to be a continuation of what we saw this year. And so a very scrappy, hard, right there on the line team. But I still just don't know if they have enough to get over the line for me, man. But number 6, I'm going with the Vikings. So I think Green Bay wins this division. But I do think that the Vikings are still going to be right there. So Green Bay's going to have to really earn that division over Minnesota. But I think Minnesota comes in a close second, and that's going to be good enough to get them in that 6th spot. I think that offense is still going to be terrific. So you still got Kirk Cousins. You've got Justin Jefferson now firmly the recognized as the best receiver in this National Football League. And now he's just another year older, another year more experienced, another year wiser, another year sharper.
I think my dog Willie Jack been sipping a little bit, y'all. He's excited about the football.
Excuse me.
But we'll let him go. Sorry.
And then you also bring over a young, capable rookie in Jordan Addison, and so I like how his skill set pairs across from Jefferson now. And I think though he's going to be a rookie, and especially if the trend continues that we've been seeing, it's not uncommon for these rookies to hit the ground running. And so I think in that offense, in that system, playing across from Jordan Jefferson, which is going to demand everybody's attention, we can see Jordan Addison have a very nice rookie year for himself. Only question mark, I guess, is going to be replacing Dalvin Cook. And so we've seen Matheson replace Cook in spurts, and he's looked well. But now he's going to be the guy. Is he ready to be the guy full-term, full-fledged from day one in the door? You're the guy, and now let's see you carry that same load. So I'm curious to see how that plays. Also, I know they've still got some holes that they're working around on that defense, but I'm anxious to see what Brian Flores, who's going to be the defensive coordinator, came over and spent last year with my Steelers. And so we know what type of massive impact he had just as a position coach. Now he's going back in his bag as a full-fledged defensive coordinator. So I definitely expect that unit to perform well or better than maybe before, even with the limited skill that they have available. But I definitely think Minnesota still finds its way to playoffs. They're my number 6 seed.
Gotcha. And that's an underrated move, Willie Jack, for the Vikings, bringing over a guy like Brian Flores. Minnesota was actually one of the teams that just missed the playoffs for me, and it was because of their defense, man. I just wasn't sure, and I understand that. Brian Flores is a great has a great defensive mind, and the way that he attacks offenses is awesome. But at the end of the day, if you ain't got the players, man, it's just hard to get it done, man. It's hard to get guys to do what you need them to do if they just don't have the ability. So that was the thing I was worried about. And the other reason I was tempted to put them in is because regardless of that, it's been times that we've seen teams that can just put up a lot of points that can get in the playoffs still. That's one thing that the Vikings won't have a problem doing is putting up points. Kirk Cousins will air that thing out. They got the weapons. You just talked about them. You know what I'm saying? So they are able to put some points up. I think they won't have any problems doing it this particular season. I just think the defense is going to let them down a few different times, and then also sometimes Cousins can get a little inconsistent. So that's why they didn't quite make mine. But Willie Jack, come on back with your last wild card team, man.
Hey, yeah, real quick, man. Brent Law in the chat, man. He said Green Bay. Are you kidding me? Okay, he's screaming, man. He can't believe that Green Bay pick we both got coming out the north, man. But hey, I'm telling you, man. I think we both think that Jordan Love quietly has mission was accomplished in Green Bay. I think he did successfully sit behind Aaron Rodgers and glean a lot from his game, much like we saw Aaron Rodgers do with Brett Favre before him. And so, honestly, man, for what we've seen, I think he's ready to have a very stable and very solid young leading quarterback season for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Right. My last one. Oh, my fault. Brendan came back with one more comment, man. It's on topic.
Go ahead. Do your thing, bro.
Yeah, it's on topic. So I'll read it for him. Minnesota defense will be the reason they miss the playoffs if they do. And that's fair. And that's kind of what Chop was saying as well. I'm thinking that maybe Brian Flores is able to make a little magic there with his effect. And like you said, just like Chop said, man, we know they can score points. And so if they can just get one stop in a shootout, man, that might be all it takes, man. That offense is definitely expected to do a lot of the heavy lifting. But rounding this thing on out, man. Oh, wait, my last wild card. Now, here's where it gets a little spicy for you, boy. Because I already told y'all that the San Francisco 49ers don't make the 2023 NFL playoffs. So my number 7 spot is not for the San Francisco 49ers. My number 7 spot is for Magic Johnson's Washington football team, led by Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy gets Magic Johnson's football team to the playoffs in his first year, and Sam Howell is going to look like he know what he's doing out there, man. Sam Howell going to be back there. I think before the season's over, man, Sam Howell is going to round into a pretty solid quarterback. And I think that defense finally comes along. I think Chase Young is ready to finally fall back into his potential, fall back into what he's supposed to be, and this is going to be his last year as well before he's trying to cash $170 million NFL dollars as well for being an elite sack artist with that type of potential. So he was there with Nick Bosa when he came right behind Nick Bosa, and when he was coming into the league, he was projected to be better than both Nick and Joey Bosa, and now he just watched his big little brother sign for 170 M's. So he's coming back and looking to get paid, and so I think that defense finally, like I said, kind of realizes their potential. I like my dog Chop picked Emmanuel Forbes to be his defensive rookie of the year. I don't know if he'll get that as a corner, but I do think that with that front playing the way they can, with him being the elite ball hawk that we saw him in college, crazy interception production. So if that front, like I said, man, lives up to the potential that we've all been waiting for, then that means that kid can get his hands on a lot of balls, man. And we've seen rookie DBs here, man. Pause. That was crazy. We've seen rookie DBs get a handful of interceptions. It was just last year where rookie Tariq Woolen tied for the lead in interceptions, so it can't be done, man, and he's a player that has a type of potential. So I've got Washington, man, finding their way into the dance. I think that NFC East is going to be, I mean, it's always a dogfight, but normally it's a bunch of bad teams beating up on each other. I think this year is going to be a bunch of very, very competitive teams beating up on each other. And, of course, I've got the Giants somewhere looking at wounds, the runt in that room. But yeah, no, I think Washington finds its way into the dance, man, at the number 7 seed. Washington in, San Francisco out.
Gotcha. Yeah, Willie Jack. Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna even lie. I like that pick. I like it because one, that's Washington this year is going to be one of the teams that I'm just going to be excited to watch and see what they look like. I want to see what they look like with a lot of the weapons. I also am rooting for them just because I'm rooting against the well, I ain't gonna say I'm rooting against them, but I don't think Daniel Jones is all what it's worth $40 million. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm rooting for them for a few different reasons. And then like you said, man, Chase Young coming back. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. I felt like, man, that this guy could be special. I want him to come back and have a really successful season. I like some of the pieces that they added on both sides of the ball. I just can't get on board with Sam Howell that far. You know what I'm saying? I can't go that far and say, hey, man, the guy gonna lead them to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Especially with my last wild card team still out there, man, and the team that you got winning the division, the Seattle Seahawks. I just think they're
you crazy.
Above. You said what?
At 7?
What you talking about?
At 7, you crazy.
Yeah.
Gonna finish better than Seattle.
Yeah. So here's the thing. First off, ain't nobody in the division gonna stop Detroit from scoring points. Maybe the Packers to slow them down a little bit. There's nobody in the division that's gonna slow down Detroit from scoring points. Okay, which is going to put them in the position to get more wins. Seattle is going to run into an issue again with one. They're going to run into an issue with the 49ers, and then mark my words. They not taking both games against the Rams, dog. I'm telling y'all that right now. I may give them week 1 just off the strength that Cooper Kupp ain't playing, but that might be the only one they get from the Rams. They ain't winning both against the Rams. I'm gonna put you there. Seattle, and here's the other thing too with Seattle. I got them there. They got so many pieces. I'm talking about they're another team I think is really, really close to being just pretty much complete. Geno, he came down to earth a few games. I'm thinking we're going to see more of those games this year than we saw last year from him. Yes, he led the league in completion percentage. Yes, he was pushing the ball a little bit. Yes, they added another weapon on offense as a receiver. But I still think we're going to see more of to me, last year was equivalent to Geno Smith's rookie film. Like, when a rookie comes out, he has a great year, but now the next year it's like, all right, we know what you're coming to the table with. Because it's been so long.
Like Brock Purdy. Oh, okay.
That's cool. That's cool. I can take that. But it's been so long since Geno Smith has had one of those opportunities, that now he's going to his second year of a full opportunity to take hold of a job. It's going to be a little bit different this year. It's not going to look the same. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got Seattle as my last wild card spot. I got them finishing good enough, maybe 9, 10 wins. No, actually 9. I got them at 9 wins, but that 9th win going to get them into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That 9th win is going to get them in. So that's why I got them as my last wild card, man. Those are my playoff teams for the NFC, Willie Jack. That's it. There you go.
Man, I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. I can't wait to hear these AFC picks then for sure.
Okay, cool. Well, real quick, before we hit a break, Willie Jack, run down your list again. But this time, give me your seeds. Who's the 1 seed, 2, 3, 4, and give me your 5, 6, 7. For those 3 wild card spots, man. Who are your seeds? Just run down the seeds for me in NFC, big dog.
All right, starting at the top.
Yes, sir. Start at the top.
Starting at the top, number 1 seed for your dog. I've got the Philadelphia Eagles. Like I told you, man, this is Jalen Hurts MVP season, man. It's MVP season, and Jalen Hurts is here to claim his title, man. So I really think Philly. I love that team. I love. I love them doing more of the same what we saw last year. Number 2 for me is gonna be the New Orleans Saints, man. I really think they're gonna just completely run through that division. And also, when I look at the rest of their schedule, I like that they get. A lot of their tougher out-of-conference matchups are at home, and so I like how their season shakes out favorably for them. I've got them in the number 2 seed. Number 3 for me, Seattle. I think Seattle does win that NFC West. I've been saying that. I really do think that San Francisco is going to end up missing the playoffs. I think they're going to be a 10-win team that misses the playoffs because I think that the NFC East is going to be so competitive. And then number 4. Number 4. I've got Green Bay. There we go. Number 4, Green Bay. I already said. Me and Chad already said we think that this is Matt LaFleur's kind of come out year, and then he gets that team to the playoffs. Number 5, I've got Dallas. 6, Minnesota, and number 7 was the Washington Football Commanders.
Got you. And let me tell y'all why Willie Jack is wrong, okay? Because my number 1 seed is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know what he's talking about with this loss of this this missing the playoff stuff. But hey, sometimes Willie Jack, he likes to just go off of on his own tangents and do whatever he want to do. But I'm gonna tell you why. That's why 49ers is going to be the number 1 seed. As my number 2 seed, I'm going to go with the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be the number 2 seed. Like I said, they're going to win the division. New Orleans Saints, I do agree with you, Willie Jack. I think they are going to run away with that division, but I don't think it's going to be better. They're not going to have a better season than the Eagles or the 49ers. So the Saints are going to be the number 3 seed. Green Bay, just like you, they coming in at 4. And then my 3 wild card spots. At 5, I got the Cowboys. 6, I got Detroit. And 7, I got Seattle, okay? But the Cowboys, let's put an asterisk by that one, all right? I can see them having at least maybe the 2nd or 3rd best record in the NFC, but, hey, that's just the way it goes. If you don't win your division, they automatically put you in either 5, 6, or 7 spot in terms of the playoffs, Willie Jack. Mm-hmm. But that's it, man. That's it for the first half of the show. We did the NFC. We coming back with the AFC and the playoffs, man. Y'all stay there right now. Y'all don't go nowhere. If y'all need to take a second, maybe get you something to drink, use the restroom or something. But come on back, man, because we got the AFC and it's on deck. See y'all in a minute.
This episode of Let the Film Speak, hosted by the wonderfully handsome and intelligent brothers of Let the Film Speak. That's Chop and your main man, Willie Jack. You feel me? Also brought to you by the 3 amigos. Y'all know them and you love them, man. That's the 3 amigos. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe. That's 3 the hard way. That's the 3-piece spicy. You cannot go wrong. Now, I say the same thing every week, so y'all can say it at home with me. I know y'all ready for it. Here we go. It's 3 amigos, but it's 4 parts to this process, big dog. First, you just got to tap in. Like my dog said, man, come in, tap in. Just say what's up, man. Just holler. Hey, what's up, 3 amigos, man? Like, share, subscribe. Hey, Chop, man. Willie, man, what's going on, man? It's cool. I sit on the couch. For sure. Y'all got something cold to drink? Oh, man, my man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, man, I'm a Broncos fan. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's easy. And Chop, come in, sit down, get comfortable, get a cool adult beverage, and let us know who you ride with, big dog. Then tell a friend. Like, man, it's a nice feeling here, ain't it? Man, it's cool, man. My homeboy was out. He was down. Man, it's cool. I can tell a friend. Tell a friend, man. And you know what? Even better than that, you can tell your friend to tell a friend. Guess what? There's more. You can tell your friend to bring his partner to. Bring one more because we need 4, man. Bring them up into the penthouse. Tap in with your dogs, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. You know we don't wear no watches. We ain't got nowhere else to be but in here kicking football flavor with the fam. And now back to the regularly scheduled program. All right.
All right. And just like I just told y'all, man, when we come back on the other side of this show, man, we're going to finish strong with the AFC and we coming back home with the playoffs. Oh, and don't forget, we got a pregame for y'all, man. We got a preview for y'all for this game coming up on Thursday night, man. So stay tuned. Stay with us, man. I got y'all. We're going to hit y'all with it. But first, we're going to start off with the AFC North. We hit them with a bang, Willie Jack. And I'm a little bit more excited to hit these AFC teams because this is going to be, I think the AFC is going to come down to it. Like, I think somebody can get in the playoffs with 8 or 9 wins in NFC. No, you got to come with 10, 11 better, you know what I'm saying, in the AFC. You ain't coming with no 8 or 9 wins to get in the playoffs this over in this side. You got to come with 10 or better. You know what I'm saying? You got to come with that smoke this year. And we starting off with the AFC North. So, Willie Jack, you start them off first, man. Who is the AFC North division winner for you, my man?
Oh, man, this is easy peasy, man. I already told y'all last week, man, AFC playoffs will go through Pittsburgh, man. The AFC North champion is none other than your very own. You know him and you love him. Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Pittsburgh Steelers back again, kings of the North where we belong, baby.
Well, explain to us. Well, give us an explanation. Tell us what's going on.
Well, honestly, I really like how our schedule matches up. So, I really love what I've seen from Kenny Pickett, man. And I know it's so easy to be a homer in this situation, of course. But I'm telling you, the way Kenny Pickett started his season and the way he finished, big comeback from behind, fourth quarter, game-winning drive victories in crucial moments. And, I mean, he shows so much. And then the progression we've seen all season, if you believe in this sort of thing, I've heard other sports shows giving segments to this, but called the MVP of the preseason by a lot of outlets as well for just how sharp and how much he's grown. So love our weapons. as massive a step forward as I think Kenny Pickett's taken, George Pickens, I think, is taking just as massive or even a bigger step as a receiver. He's making Randy Moss, Brandon Lloyd. I'm talking about.
Hey, I like that name. I'm glad you said Brandon Lloyd, Willie Jack.
Hold on, yo.
You don't get enough
You
credit for
talking
the
about just some of the
catches he done
craziest
made.
catches you've ever seen? Man, what?
I'm so glad you said the name. We do not get enough credit for some of the craziest catches he has made throughout his career, dog.
And look, man, y'all got to get on YouTube tonight. Got to get on YouTube tonight. When you talk about jumping ability, body control, like hang time, you know what I mean? Like in hands, it feels like anytime your hands touch the ball, you come down with it some way, somehow. So George Pickens has shown that type of ability just routinely, man. Like he's been having viral catches in practice. Like it felt like every other practice this summer, man. So just routinely, he's ready to take another huge step. And then also, man, the work we did on that offensive line, bringing over Isaac Seumalo from the Philadelphia Eagles. Woo! Hey, clip it! Somebody clip that. Bringing him over from Philly has really solidified our offensive line, dog. I'm telling you, we drafted Broderick Jones, and honestly, the guy we had before, who was a fourth-round rookie who's been starting for us, Dan Moore, playing next to Seumalo, he looks like he looks so much better now playing next to Seumalo that Broderick Jones isn't going to start, at least to start this season. And so, I mean, it just really brought balance to that offensive line. Najee Harris is still there. We found this young, explosive complement back. We got a real thunder and lightning group in the backfield now with this guy named Jalen Warren. He had a highlight run, I think, in the Falcons game, went like 75 yards up the sideline. And so now we get a real thunder and lightning because Najee all 6'3", 245 pounds of him to hammer you. And then this guy, man, pause, goddamn. And then Jalen Warren, man, coming in to hit home runs. The defense is still there, man. TJ Watt went healthy, the best defensive player in football. He's back, he's healthy. Cam Hayward is still back there on his old man record tour. Minka Fitzpatrick now has another running mate in the backfield, man. Patrick Peterson coming over here to have one more day in the sun, man. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be a lot easier for him. Like I said, with that rush that we're gonna have up front. Alex Highsmith just cashed a big check. He's just coming off a 15-sack season. Everything's there, Chop. I'm talking about a defense that's gonna be top 5. We've got several defensive player of the year candidates on the same defense. Man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year for us. And I really like I said, a lot of our tough matchup games are at home. We get the Niners at home. We get Jacksonville at home. We get we've got one more out of conference game as well that could be a tricky game, but it's also at home. The only game I'm really kind of worried about is we go to Seattle at the end of the year, and so I think that's going to be and that's one of our last 4 games. So that could be. I think we really are going to be competing for that AFC North and potentially that number 1 seed. And I think a late loss to Seattle could be the difference for us. Man, that's going to be a tough game at a tough time of year. But other than that, I like all our tough matchups line up at home. And I really think, I think we can start this year 7-1, like legitimately. I think we can get off to a pretty hot start.
Yeah, well, that one, if y'all start 7-1, that one is coming on Sunday.
Yeah, no. The only we play the Bengals at Seattle. We play the Bengals in Cincinnati early in the year. So, but they got to come see us late, and so we generally split them. We beat them last year at their crib in that game anyway. So like we said, we can win that. But I'll give them that respect. We going to Cincinnati. I'll give them that dub. Man, that could be 7-1 though.
Okay, well that sounds like 2 losses already to me, bro.
I
let you, hey man, I like to pick Willie Jack. I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't be surprised if they did really compete for the division winner in this division, man. And this division is gonna be a dogfight. I'm talking about a straight dogfight. I don't think any team in this division is gonna be a slouch at all. I think this is the best division in football. But I'm going with Baltimore in this division, man. Moves they made this offseason, including the moves they made in the middle of the season this past year. I liked a lot of the things they did. And here's the most important thing or piece to this puzzle. Lamar Jackson is all in. If you watch his style of play towards the beginning of the year, he wasn't putting his body in harm's way a lot. He wasn't running a lot. He was passing a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he played pretty well. You know, and then when he suffered the injury, of course, it's been skeptical about whether he could have came back or not. Either way, he went out. But this year he's got his contract. He's got what he wanted. He also got what he wanted on the field. They added a lot of weapons around him to throw to. So he got a lot of toys to play with in terms of, weapons on the outside. He still got his guy Mark Andrews. So, all the pieces are there. And if you've been a fan of Let the Film Speak, first off, I appreciate you. Secondly, I've been saying a lot about how this Ravens defense transformed once they brought over Roquan Smith. You know what I'm saying? So if they get something similar to this defense, even if it's not that number one defense that they turned into once he came over, even if it's just a top 10 defense, a top 8 defense, we're looking at a tough team. You know what I mean? And just looking at the rest of the teams in the division, there are certain things that I'm looking at that I have question marks about. If everything, plays out right, and if all teams stay healthy, of course that doesn't happen all the time. I think the Baltimore Ravens have the most complete team. I've seen inconsistencies with the Cincinnati Bengals time and time again, but they still got their guy, so that's another team that's going to compete there. But ultimately, I think with all the things they have right now, give me Baltimore to come away with this division, maybe just by a game or maybe by a tiebreaker. I see them finishing with the same record as somebody. I ain't gonna say who, but it's somebody. But maybe they come away with the tiebreaker in that division and they win it, man. So give me Baltimore in this particular in the AFC North.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to be mad at the pick. I think this division is definitely gonna be close. I'm surprised you went Baltimore over Cincinnati. I think that's definitely a more popular pick. They're a more stable and consistent team. Because also we got to keep in mind, as exciting as the new pieces that are in Baltimore are, they're also implementing a brand new offense that came from a college team this last year as well. So they've got an older Odell who missed a whole year of football. You got a rookie Zay Flowers, and then you got a college coach coming in now to be the offensive coordinator for an NFL team. So I still don't know. I think they're always going to be competitive, play on brand football. We know what that defense is about. Shout out to Roquan Smith, like you said. But man, I don't know just how fast it clicks, and so I think it may be hard for them to keep up with Cincinnati just right out the door.
Gotcha. All right. Well, on to the AFC South, Willie Jack, and this one we may have chalked the same. We'll see. But for the AFC South, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. I think they are primed to take over this particular division. I think this is the year that everybody is expecting them to take that another step forward. They came down to the last game of the season for them to kind of come away with this division last year. But I think this particular year, I think this is their chance to kind of run away with it and show that who's the team to beat in this division. The Tennessee Titans, I still have a few of their same pieces. They're still going to run the ball through Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is 30 now. Now I still expect him to have a really good season. But with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the way Trevor Lawrence has been improving and developing as a quarterback and the weapons that they've added around him on offense, I think Jacksonville Jaguars are primed to take over this division. I already told y'all Doug Peterson is probably going to be my coach of the year this year. So give me the Jaguars to come away with this division. I think it's going to be pretty easy. I think they win by at least 2 games, and they just run away with it, man. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars winning the AFC South.
Man, I also got Jacksonville winning this division, but man, I don't know how you're gonna say run away with it. Then you say just 2 games, man. 2 games don't sound like run away with. But
hey, two games mean 11.
Ran away with.
2 games is a lot of games, bro.
Man, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that's not ran away with, man. But
at least, okay. What you want to say? 3 games?
I mean, let's say if they win 12 and Tennessee wins
at least 3 games. You talk me into it. I'll say 3 games. If Jaguars come away, I think Jaguars can come away with anywhere 11, 12 wins. No other team in that division will win over 8, 9 games.
Okay, there we go. See, there you go. There you go. That's all I want.
That sounds better to you.
They run away with.
Sometimes y'all, Willie wants me to say things that tickles his fancy.
I'll just say, man, you can't halfway jump out the window, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna jump, you got to jump now. But no, I definitely think Jacksonville wins this division. I don't necessarily think they run away with it, but I do think they win it comfortably. I'll say that. I think the Tennessee, like I've already told you guys, I think very highly of Mike Vrabel as a coach, and so I think his teams are always going to be extremely hard. They're going to be an extremely hard out. So even the teams that beat them may feel. I mean, those wins hurt, and so I think there'll be a team like that. So I think they will. They'll do enough to keep Jacksonville honest and make them keep their foot on the pedal. But I do think Jacksonville ends up winning this division as well.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. Well, come on back with it, Willie Jack. We're going to the AFC East, man. Who is your AFC East winner?
And this division is exciting for a lot of reasons. We want to see what Aaron Rodgers looks like in his new home in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We also want to see Tua back healthy. See if they can rekindle that magic they had before all the disaster happened with him last year in his health. And so there's a lot of interesting stories there. And then Buffalo and Big Josh, what I'm saying? Is the magic done? Have they kind of lost that spark of that, or have they lost? Or are they still the team to beat in that division? And so for me, I think they still are. I think when it's all said and done, I think I still like Buffalo. I still like Buffalo as having the best quarterback in that division. I still like Buffalo as having the best 1-2 punch in that division. I can't even say that. I feel like I trust Buffalo more. I just do. I've seen them on the precipice of getting to the mountaintop. I've seen them duke it out with those heavyweights that is Kansas City. They've duked it out with the heavyweight that is Cincinnati. So they're the contender, the real contender in that division. Nobody else has kind of been past the junior round, so to say. They're the only varsity team in that division so far. So I still like Buffalo when it's all said and done to still beat Big Brother and really I think this is Big Josh and Stephon Diggs. This may be their last run. Stephon Diggs looks like he's just kind of getting frustrated with the lack of pushing through and making it to that next phase and really compete for the championship. And so I think the pressure could be on them internally to really go all out and really put it together this year.
Gotcha. And I'm with you, Willie Jack. I'm going with the Bills in this particular division too. I think they, I just think that it hasn't been a lot of talk, which is probably a good thing for the Bills. It hasn't been a lot of talk in regards to like the Bills this year. I kind of feel like people are getting tired of all right, this is the Bills year. This is the Bills year. This is the Bills year. You know what I'm saying? But and they're getting tired of talking about it. But at the same time, the Bills ain't going nowhere. The Bills are always going to compete. The Bills are going to, as long as Josh Allen is the quarterback, they're going to be a consistent playoff team. And by the looks of this division as of right now, I think they got firm control of it. Even with Aaron Rodgers coming over, I think the Bills are going to be the team to beat in this division. Josh Allen will continue to lead his team, to W's. He's going to still do a lot. I wonder if they're going to, keep a tighter rope on Josh Allen this particular season in terms of, hey, let's use our running backs a little bit more. Let's keep you out of harm's way a little bit more. Let's not put you in as many positions to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And then they've added a couple other pieces too that I like. Here's another thing. Von Miller's back. Von Miller's back. And last time I seen him playing, he was a difference maker. So that was going to be a huge factor in them this past season. And who knows, man? Who knows what their season looks like with him on the field, you know what I'm saying, when the time came. So Von Miller's back. We have to see him play a full season, of course, but give me the Bills in this position. That's the team I feel most comfortable with, and the team I feel like that has everything that they need to run away with the division. So I'm going Bills.
Bet.
For sure. What we got? We got something?
Man, real quick, man. Isaiah Holmes in the building, man. Right on time. Josh is overrated. Big play offense, and his numbers don't show it. Hey, man. 13 wins the last 3 seasons? Them numbers doing something. Something's doing something. I don't know, man.
Well, you know my deal. It's good. First off, it's good to see Isaiah in the building. Haven't seen him in a long time. And this is actually good timing. You know what I'm saying? Because we get ready to go to his division next, and we're gonna
he show up just in time to throw money to Josh and Big Josh.
Yeah, man. He shows up perfect timing, man. I don't necessarily agree with what he's saying. I don't think he's necessarily an overrated QB. I think he's rated properly. I think
He
most
said
people
he's worse than the Cowboys when it comes to choking.
I think he's top 5 quarterback in the league. You know what I'm
Worse
saying?
than the Cowboys when it comes to choking. I don't know if he even gave up any 27-point leads in the playoffs, man, before you get all crazy.
Hey, well, look. Let's move on to the AFC West. Okay, let's move on to the AFC West, and let's start talking about who's gonna win this division. Is it on me, Willie Jack? If it's on me, I can go ahead and let them know. They should already know because I done told people a few times already who was gonna win this division, and it's none other than your boy. He's probably gonna be happy I'm saying this time. I kind of want to go against it just so I can talk to Isaiah today. But no, I'm gonna do it. I'm sticking with what I said. The team that's gonna win this AFC West is led by none other than your boy J Herb, aka J Herbo, aka Justin Allen Herbert. I know that ain't his middle name, but that's his middle name today from Let the Film Speak. Man, Justin Herbert and the Chargers, I think, are going to come away with this division, and here's why. First and foremost, I think people don't understand the amount of injuries that the Chargers faced this past season in terms of losing their offensive tackle. Your boy in Rashawn Slater, you know what I'm saying, immediately emerged as one of the best offensive tackles in the league. You know, losing a couple of their defensive pieces, huge defensive pieces, their best pass rusher in Joey Bosa, and their big dollar cornerback in J.C. Jackson. They're going to have those guys back. You know, my boy Derwin James has been shown that he can be healthy as of late. So having all those pieces back and healthy and ready to go this year, I think is going to be huge for this Chargers team. I think they have everything in place, and we already know the talent that Justin Herbert has. And I think that's part of the reason why I predicted him as the MVP winner, because yes, the Chiefs are in this division. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is over there. Patrick Mahomes is a bad man, you know, but I think at some point this catches up with them. Not to the point where they become a bad team. No, they're not going to be a bad team. They're going to be a really good team. But they're not going to be as good as the Chargers, because him having to overcome that much against a team like the Chargers, I think that's going to put them in position where they're going to they're not going to be able to beat the Chargers in terms of, you know, winning this division. And that's going to take – the Chargers team is built to take them through this entire season. I think the Chiefs going to run into a few different lumps this year, which is going to take them out of the division winner. But I think they still be a playoff team. Spoiler alert when we get to the wild cards. But I got the Chargers coming away with this division, man.
And you know what? I also am going with the Chargers, as surprising as this may seem.
Really?
I really am. And I'll tell you why. Because honestly, like, I've definitely been thinking that they were going to make a push, and I can see that it just kind of feels that it may be time for the Chiefs to finally like have all the moves, all the changes, all the moving parts. That maybe it's finally time for all that to kind of finally catch up to them. And for me, it's more so kind of I think I'm finally comfortable to go ahead and give the Chargers that bump because of what's going on right now. So Chris Jones and his holdout situation. Honestly, I'm not optimistic that it resolves itself before the season starts. I think this really can carry over into the season. I think Chris Jones has already came out and said that, man, he doesn't mind showing up in week 8. And so if that's the case, this is a defense that they've got some young pieces that have finally kind of started to show themselves. They've got Nick Bolton, a young, exciting linebacker that they like a lot there. You've got Trent McDuffie, the young corner, who's been pretty decent as well. I mean, they've got a handful of other young guys that are still kind of finding themselves on that defense. And then on the offensive side, you're very top heavy. You definitely got Patrick Mahomes. You got Patty Cakes at the top. We know what he is. You got Travis Kelce as well. And then there's the rub there. Well, Travis Kelce now is banged up. And so now Travis Kelce may or may not be ready for week 1. And so it's one of those things where it's right now I think it's a hyperextended knee. Travis Kelce is 33 years old. You know what I mean? And so does that linger? Does that reoccur? You know what I mean? Let's say that do you have to sit on week 1 and maybe you start without Chris Jones and without Travis Kelce. Now, is that too much to overcome from a hungry, motivated Lions team, which before we knew you were missing Chris Jones and possibly Travis Kelce, that people were thinking these Lions could come in there and shock you at full strength, and now you're down your second and your third best players on a team that's top heavy for talent. And so if the Travis Kelce thing, if that lingers, or if he's not quite himself, already getting older, if this Chris Jones thing plays into the middle of the season, and then even when he comes back, like just what's that do to the chemistry of this team and of this defense as well? And so I think all those kind of things poke just enough holes in the door that maybe a team like the Chargers, angry and motivated, they're tired of being little brother, they're tired of being in that shadow, and so now if they're able to come in and kind of come through the back door and like I said, steal the division from the Chiefs, man, before they're able to rebound and get back on track.
Yeah. Only thing is, they not stealing this division. MVP J Herb, he taking over this division. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna be no steal. He ain't robbing nothing. He finna come through full-fledged Debo and taking over this division. I'm just letting you know right now, Willie Jack. I wanted to clear that up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and then Isaiah's in the building, man. He said they should ship Austin Eckler and a pick for Jonathan Taylor. I think that ship is sailed, and especially because Jonathan Taylor, they put him on a PUP list, and so he's not going to be active for the first 4 weeks. But honestly, man, I don't know. I don't know, because they had a hard enough time trying to pay Austin Eckler, and so I don't think they have enough money to pay Jonathan Taylor as well, because that's his beef. Because don't forget, they just signed your boy Jellyfish Justin to the richest quarterback contract in history just a month ago. So I don't know if they have enough money to do that, and then also still double back and break big bread with Jonathan Taylor. So I don't know if I don't think realistically they could have did that this year. And so you're stuck with Austin Eckler, which, as a surprise consolation point, he's one of the most productive touchdown scoring players across the NFL. And so that's quarterback, receiver, anybody outside of a quarterback, he's the next likely to be the next leading touchdown scorer in the league. So you could do worse than Austin Eckler.
And see, here's the other thing with that too, Willie Jack. I think this team wants to be constructed like a Cincinnati Bengals team. The Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Mixon had to take a pay cut because one, Joe, we can talk about Joe Mixon and what he's done over the last couple of years, but this team wants to pass the ball. And just like the Cincinnati Bengals, the Chargers want to pass the ball. That's the reason why they go out in the draft and go bring in Quentin Johnston. They want to add another receiver to this mix to still be, flexible in what they're able to do on offense and still have that awesome pass catching back that can catch the ball out of the backfield, but also run it on key downs when we need him to run it, and not necessarily be that 20 carry a game type guy or 15 carry a game type of guy, as long as you're able to do what you need to do. And I think bring in a guy like Joshua Kelly, to kind of spell him in that sense. So I kind of like what the way this team is orchestrated and what Justin Herbert is about to do this year, man. We're gonna say, oh yeah, okay, they got it. They can ride Justin Herbert. Now I do agree with you. They do need to be able to run the ball, but it's being able to run the ball effectively. But I think with the talent that they have, they'll be okay. I think they can be just fine.
Okay. Yeah. Also, here's another thing as well. I think the Chargers, either two things happen for the Chargers. I don't think they're going to be in between. I think they either win this division or they completely tank it and Brandon Staley finally gets axed, because it feels like he's got a few extra swings at the pinata, because he's fell on his face enough for me, especially seeing it as short as leash as some coaches have in this league. Then I would think this is definitely Brandon Staley's last bite at the apple. And so I think they either win this division and do so in commanding fashion with Justin Herbert balling out, or if they don't, then I definitely think it means that Brandon Staley had more boneheadedness that cost them games, and then he finally gets canned.
Gotcha. And I think he comes in one more comment, man. He said the Chargers want to run the ball. I don't know, man. We'll see what Kellen Moore wants.
Kellen Moore don't want to run the ball. The days of about them running the ball all over. Like before Kellen Moore just got there, we could have said that. Kellen Moore's going to lean into the running back passing game, so this actually could be a benefit, because I think Kellen Moore is actually going to let Austin Eckler settle more into what he really is dynamic at doing as a receiving back. And so I think it could work. I do like the addition of Kellen Moore, especially keeping Eckler and then drafting Quentin Johnston, like you said.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the wild cards, man. I might have had a switch at the last minute, dog.
Really?
A straight bold prediction type of switch at the last minute. And you know what? I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it.
Do what you feel.
It's gonna come at the end when you see who's left off of my list, man. So I just came back Oh, you came back. You came back with the Chargers. So come on with your first wild card team, man. Give me a wild card team.
Okay, so my number five seed is easy chalk pick for me, Cincinnati Bengals. If the Cincinnati Bengals don't win my AFC North, then that means my Steelers did. And then if that's the case, that means my Steelers are also the number one seed. If you've been following me, I don't mind saying it because that's what I've been saying. It was already a bold prediction. It is what it is. But I definitely think the Bengals are going to be another team that's going to be right in that mix, right around 12, 13 wins or so. And so I've got them as my number five seed.
Okay. All right. And coming back to my side, and then I'll let you hit the comments, Willie Jack. I see you looking. But coming back to my side, I also got the Bengals as my first wild card team, man. Bengals my first wild card team. Hey man, Joe Beasley is nice, man. Joe Beasley is nice. They got a lot of weapons over there. They got a lot of pieces to this puzzle. I think they continue to be competitive, be explosive, and put up a lot of points, and it's going to be hard for teams to stop them. And the one thing about the Bengals, too, I think this one piece with Orlando Brown, I think this is going to help shore up that offensive line, which I think they for sure need to do. Because the one thing we've always talked about with the Cincinnati Bengals, Willie Jack, is Joe Burrow gets sacked a lot. And we thought they shored up the line this past year. He got sacked a lot again. They went and got Orlando Brown this year. So hopefully this helps out because I don't know how much Joe Burrow can take, if he continues to get hit as much as he got hit these last two seasons. You don't have your guy out there, suffering all these injuries and missing a lot of time, especially in a very, very competitive AFC. So overall, I still think they're a really, really good team. They're going to be special. I already told y'all Jamar Chase is my offensive player of the year, and I got the Bengals as my first wild card team as well, Willie Jack.
No, I got you. And Real Dead Still Sports back in the chat, man. He said I think he's agreeing. And he also has, I believe he's saying that he also has the Bengals as his, I guess, first wild card. And then go ahead and go into your second wild card.
All right, cool. So my second wild card is going to be the Miami Dolphins. All right, the Miami Dolphins is going to be my second wild card team. And here's the thing: I'm not banking on Tua to get hurt. I think he plays a full season, and that's the biggest thing with them. We saw how explosive this offense can be under Mike McDaniels and when everything is clicking. With Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and all the guys that they had, man, this is a track meet, and they're going to continue to be a track meet, in terms of the way this offense is orchestrated. And we talked about this in our coaching rankings, man, these young, innovative coaches, man, these offensive minds are coming in and they're really changing the game. They're showing you how they can come in, put some pieces together, and these offenses can be extremely explosive. I expect this Miami Dolphins team to continue to be that. But here's the kicker. Their defense is going to be improved, all right? Especially when they get their guy and Jalen Ramsey back. Now, he's going to miss a few weeks, but when he comes back and gets into the swing of things, this defense is going to be something to reckon with, man. And they're going to have, all the pieces to this puzzle put together and ready to go. So I expect this team to be a very, very competitive team. I expect them to win a lot of games, and they're going to be my second wild card team for this playoffs, man. So the Miami Dolphins, they are my second wild card team.
Gotcha. Then our dog Skinny back in the chat, man. He I guess he likes that pick of Miami. That pick of Miami snuck up on him, man. He said he must be asleep on Miami, so he feel like maybe he missed out on them. But it sounded like you said. And then, man, so I'm gonna move into my number 6. Now, I'm gonna tell you, man, or you know what? I don't mind saying it. Miami didn't make the playoffs in my edition, man. Miami didn't make the playoffs.
I feel it.
And honestly, but I think this is the thing for me though. I think the AFC is gonna be so competitive. I think there could be as many as 3 10-win teams that don't make the playoffs. Like I think it's gonna be.
I'm telling you, at least you're gonna have to win double digit to get in the playoffs in this.
10 is not even gonna guarantee you win. I think Miami missed the playoff as a 10-win team. Like when I went through and kind of like stacked it up. And so I think they're right there. So they definitely could be in the mix. I definitely think they're gonna be in the mix, but I think I've got them falling just short. But they're gonna be right there in the mix and right at 10 wins and maybe be looking out. I'll be left looking outside in. But for me, my number 16, this is where I've got Baltimore. And so I definitely think that AFC North is going to be, it's always ultra competitive, but I also think just the way these schedules fall, man, I think the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens are all going to be in that 13-11, or like in that. Honestly, I think all those teams have a chance to be around 12 or 13 wins, legitimately. And so I think it's going to be like, it's going to be like splitting hairs the way it's going to fall out. But I definitely think Baltimore is going to be a team that's right in there in the mix at around 12 games, and 12 games is going to get you the 6th seed.
Gotcha. All right, well,
12
games to the 6th
seed.
So what gets you the 7th seed? Oh, my fact, go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, my dog, man, Skinny back in the chat, man. He said he's got Buffalo as his second wild card team. So it sounds like he's either got the Aaron Rodgers Jets or Tua's Dolphins, man, winning that AFC East. So I'm curious to see how the rest of that shakes out for you, though, Skinny. Let me know. Oh, and then it's on me for number 7.
On you for number 7, big dog.
It's on me, David. Number 7. Just sneaking into the playoffs with 11 wins. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs as the number 7 seed with 11 wins. Now, also, mind you, I am going with the premise that Chris Jones is going to miss half this season. I'm taking him at his word. Kansas City said they're not budging. We've seen Kansas City hold firm and not pay Tyreek Hill and let him go to Miami, and then all they did was come back and win the Super Bowl. And so Kansas City, in their mind, man, we done been here before. We've done this song and dance. Oh, you don't want to show up? Hey, that's cool, because until we find out otherwise, we can win without you, big dog. We can win without you, Tyreek. Take $30 million and go to Miami. Chris Jones. Hey, man, you was here when we let Tyreek go. You don't think we'll let you go? And so I think Kansas City maybe does hold firm that they're not going to give him that Aaron Donald and now Nick Bosa style of contract. And Chris Jones, he's already won his ring, and he hasn't been quiet about it. He's let them know, man, I see y'all around week 8, man. I see y'all around Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's the case, I'm just not sure what that defense looks like without Chris Jones in the middle, kind of being the fuel to that defensive fire. And so I think this could be a rough year. Also, like I said, man, if this knee with Kelsey, if it does linger, if this is a thing that he's not 100% now for the first month of this season, I've got a couple questions, man. And so these weapons on the outside, are these new young guys really going to step up and blow everybody away when we get into the regular season? I'm tired of hearing about Justin Ross, undrafted out of, I can't remember if it was Georgia or Texas, wherever it was, but y'all been waiting on him for 2 years.
I thought he was Clemson.
Clemson. There we go. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, Clemson. It was orange. I was struggling for orange and said Texas. But Justin Ross is a guy now. Sky Moore now going into year 3. Are you going to be the guy who I thought you were going to be, man, when I saw you coming in a few years ago? You know what I'm saying? Kadarius Toney. Are you Percy Harvin now? Like, are you really going to be an everyday dynamic player, or is it just going to be 4 or 5 times a season that we see you look special? So I still think they have a lot of questions. Isaiah Pacheco, are you going to be able to be a consistent 20 carry back? Are you going to be able to take some of the pressure off of Patty in this lackluster passing game if Travis Kelce's not? You know what I'm saying? So I've got more questions, man, than I've got answers at this point. And so I think they're still going to be a competitive team. I still think they're going to be a team that's going to be right around 12 wins. Like I was saying, I think maybe they fall short. But maybe with the stuff going on with Chris Jones and Travis Kelce, maybe they're 11 wins. And then as competitive as this AFC is, 11 wins got them the 7th seed.
Okay. Well, Willie Jack, for all those reasons are the reasons why Chiefs ain't making the playoffs on my end.
Whoa!
Chiefs ain't making it.
Patty all the way out there, bro? Patty,
they out.
Playoffs?
Yeah, they out.
He's only been to every AFC championship game that he's been a starter. Now he's not even gonna make the playoffs.
Listen, man. Listen, and this is why I want to. This is why I want to bring people down to earth just a little bit, okay? Because first and foremost, kudos to Patrick Mahomes and what he's done as a quarterback in this NFL. What he has done, I don't know if we've ever seen a quarterback do that soon and come in the league on that hot as an NFL starter. You know what I'm saying? What he's done has been crazy. Give you all the credit. Give Andy Reid all the credit. Travis Kelce and all those guys. But for me, man, it's going to be tough, man. This AFC is going to be tough. You don't have those pieces put together right now, especially to start the season. This lets me know that it's not just about Patrick Mahomes. Things aren't put together. You know what I'm saying? Things aren't gelling right now. Things aren't all together. So, yes, call this my bold prediction, but the Chiefs ain't making the playoffs. Here's the other part. You got some new people over there, man. some new people that are also hungry and ready to shoot and try to make these playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton ain't come over there and coach this Denver Broncos team to just sit in the back. No, he's trying to get in this mix too. You know what I'm saying? You still got the Chargers over there. They still trying to be healthy. We just talked about them. New York, they added a piece over there. You know what I'm saying? And AR, they ain't going down quiet either. It's a lot of pieces over there. The Bills are who they are. They're gonna do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all division, the AFC North, y'all got enough things to worry about just in y'all division alone. That's gonna be competitive. Man, you got some dogs over there, some monsters, and this is the wrong time to be going into a season to where you worried about this player, worried about that player. Things are not, coming into play, falling apart. Yeah, you got one thing, and that one thing remains, and that's Patrick Mahomes. But he's human, man. He's human. So don't get me wrong. They're not going to be a bad team. Let's just put that out there right now. They're not going to be a bad team. I don't see them winning 7 games or anything like that. I think they still get 10 wins. But I told you it's going to take double-digit wins to get in the playoffs. And 10 wins ain't going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? 10 wins are not going to cut it for the Chiefs this year. They barely miss it, okay? And you know who gets that last spot? The New York Jets. The New York Jets. The New York Jets gets that final playoff spot, man. And it's going to be mainly because of their defense, okay? Mainly because of their defense. And here's the one thing that I wanted to see with the New York Jets, man. I wanted to see what they were going to look like on offense with Aaron Rodgers back there behind that offensive line that's looking a little suspect. That's the one issue that I have with the Jets, okay? But I think that Aaron Rodgers will be able to navigate that. One, they're going to have a solid run game on offense. He also is going to have his guy that he's going to have that timing with, the guy he's going to be able to do some similar things that he was able to do with Devontae Adams. The person that he didn't have last year with the Green Bay Packers to say, all right, you're going to bail me out here. Let's hit this back shoulder. It's almost automatic. Or you would see on a couple of those plays where the experience just jumps out off the screen. Last year they had guys like Pat White and Joe Flacco and those type of guys. Aaron Rodgers is the type of guy that puts plays that he has just for himself, quick checks to say, all right, let's go get 6 yards right off the bat. So instead of running this ball right up the middle, I see this guy's playing off of my guy Garrett Wilson. I'm gonna give him a signal. Boom, let's hit this quick route. Let's get 6 yards, get out of bounds. Now instead of 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11 because they stuffed the run, 2nd and 8, whatever. We got 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3. So now we continue to do that. Those are the type of positions that Aaron Rodgers is going to put the New York Jets in that they're not used to being in or they didn't used to be in, which is going to make them ultimately a better team because they're going to put them in better positions on 2nd and 3rd down. That's going to be the difference with this particular team. And this defense is also locked and loaded. They ready to go. The defense ain't no hole in the defense nowhere. Up front, Quentin Williams looking like something different. He got paid, and that boy is ready to raid. You know what I'm saying? Raid like he's playing the road. He got paid, and that boy is ready to raid. You know what I'm saying? Quentin Williams is looking good. They looking good at the 2nd level, and then of course, they look like they got the best corner in the league back there. You know what I'm saying? So they got a lot of the pieces in place, man. And I expect this New York Jets team to come with a rejuvenated Aaron Rodgers and get that last playoff spot, man, with 11 wins. That's my last wild card spot.
No, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't have the Jets making the playoffs. I wanted to have them in just for the story of Aaron Rodgers making it, but if you look at their schedule, bro, their schedule is brutal. Their schedule is brutal. I think out of their first 6-7 games, if they're 2-4 after the first 6 weeks, bro, it wouldn't be surprised. Like that schedule opens up pretty harsh to get going. And so I think they're definitely a team where they're going to be. I think they're going to have a stretch there where they get to make a run maybe later in the season. But I think to start, unless they really just come out the box just on fire, I think it's going to be pretty ugly going, man, in the beginning, just how ugly their schedule felt, man. So I got them maybe falling into an early hole that they can't get out of, man. But I definitely expect Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson to light it up. Like I said, Garrett Wilson's my prediction for Offensive Player of the Year. I said that I think he's going to be the Triple Crown winner as far as receivers go. So I definitely think they're going to light it up. But I think it may be just too little too late, man, just from the early, how rough their schedule was. But hold on. I've got a bone to pick with you. You mean to tell me that the last show we had was bold predictions, And I had to listen to you give a prediction about Daniel Jones. Meanwhile, you got the Chiefs missing the playoffs. How was that not in the bold prediction show?
Because when we doing our bold prediction show, I didn't think Chris Jones was gonna still be out or Travis Kelce was gonna miss the first game. When we was doing bold predictions, Travis Kelce ain't have a hyperextended knee.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Hey,
okay. Now,
so the more you actually convinced me, when you start talking about it, I'm like, this team do got a lot going on.
I'm telling you, bro, there's a lot going on.
And we've seen Patrick Mahomes at times be sporadic with his accuracy, with his decision making.
Oh, he was
now you take away his best weapon. The one thing that's been steady throughout his time there in Travis Kelce, and he don't have his defensive
stalwart. Yeah, his defensive counterbalance. Yeah,
that's gonna be rough, bro. That's gonna be rough.
And that's gonna be rough. We're putting too much.
And it's gonna take him some time to get back into football state. So, yeah, that's where I'm.
Hey, they ain't feeling that. Hey, we got Damon Harris. Hey, I don't recognize that name in the chat before, man. What's happening? He said the Chiefs not making the playoffs. Yeah, okay, man. He think you tweaking. He said you tweaking. Hey, you off your rocker.
And that's cool. That's cool. Willie Jack, how many times I tell you I'm used to standing alone? You know what I'm saying? I stand by myself. Put me on that hill by myself. I ain't gotta put me on that island. I bet I survive. You know what I mean? Put me on that island. I bet I survive.
No, the way things look now. I was gonna say the way things look now, I definitely think they take a step back, but I've got them still getting in my 7th seed. I think it's hard. It's hard for me to imagine that Patty just doesn't at all make the playoffs, man. I think he is still one of them ones, man. And we one of them ones, man. You can get the improbable done. So I think he can. I think he still gets to the playoffs, especially, man. Not the Jets, man. If maybe it's another team, but not over the Jets. That Jets schedule early going is brutal, man. I'll tell you, you got to take another look at it. That Jets early schedule is rough. But let's go ahead. So we'll be on now, man. Going through the rest of the seeds.
Yeah, so let's run through it real quick, Willie Jack. So we getting close to that time. We still got to do that pregame too. So let's run through the seeds real quick, and then we'll go to the playoffs.
Okay, so my number 1 seed, man. Surprise, is a bold prediction. I already told y'all what was going on, man. Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be my number 1 seed. I really think. Now I'm looking optimistically, but I'm really thinking that we look like I think we could be around a 12, 13 win team. And I think if all things go well and we are a 13 win team, I think that's going to be enough to get us that number 1 seed. Number two, I've got Buffalo. I really think this is going to be a revenge tour for Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I really think that they're kind of feeling like that people are really starting to kind of count them as a real contender for Kansas City, and that people are looking like it's a 2-dog race instead of a 3-dog race. And they're not liking being left out between them, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. And so I think this may be the year, especially like I said with Kansas City, I think taking a step back, I think maybe Buffalo and Big Josh and Stephon Diggs, man, that they really hone in and get that thing going. Number 2 seed. Number 3, this is where I've got Jellyfish Justin Herbert and those Chargers taking over and winning that division this year, while Kansas City kind of has a lot of things going on in the peripheral. And so now, like I said, this is the year that maybe we see, man, that all the things about Justin Herbert that we've been waiting to see him take the next level, take that next step and go to the next level. Maybe this could be the year he does that. And then number 4, Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they just don't really have much competition in that division. I think the Titans are going to be tough, but I just don't think that they're going to have the horses to really keep up with Jacksonville when it's all said and told. So I've got the Jaguars winning that division and being the number 4 seed. And then, of course, running back through my wild cards, 5, Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's going to be a 12-win 5 seed. So that's how competitive I think it is. Number 6, Baltimore. I think Baltimore is going to be either an 11 or a 12-win 6 seed because I just think that's how tight it's going to be. And then number 7, I got Kansas City making the playoffs, but I think they're an 11-win 7 seed. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's how tight it is. And then I've got Miami. I've got Miami I've got Miami missing the playoffs at 10 wins. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be super close and super competitive. I think the Jets are probably going to be somewhere right around 9 wins. I don't know if they'll get to 10. Like I said, they'll be in that 9-10 mix and make it real close. But, man, I just think it's going to be a super tough division in the AFC.
For sure, for sure. All right, Willie Jack, and running through my seeds, man. My number one seed is going to be the Bills, man. I think the Bills end up with the best record in the AFC. They come away as the number one seed in the AFC. I think this is just set up for them. It's set up for them. I think some of the other divisions are going to be a little bit more competitive. And like you, I know you say it's going to be that competitive with some of them teams getting 12 wins. I think the AFC North that's going to push them to a lower win total than necessarily higher because it's going to be so competitive in that division. As my number two seed, I went with the Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers, my number two seed, man. I think they get a decent amount of wins. They stay healthy all year, man. They're going to be a problem for teams. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're going to show that this particular year. My number three seed, I'm going with the Jaguars, man. Jaguars will be the number three seed. They got the easiest run through in terms of the division, man. I think they run through that division. I think very comfortably. That's going to get them a 3-speed, a very comfortable spot in the playoffs. And then last but not least, give me Baltimore, not last but not least, but Baltimore as my number 4 seed as the last division winner, because their division is going to be so competitive. They will come away with a few more losses than these other teams. And then running through the wild cards, my 5 seed, the Bengals, just like you, Willie Jack. 6, I got the Dolphins, and 7, I got the Jets, man, with the Chiefs. And the Chiefs and it was some Chiefs and the Steelers missing the playoffs. Those are the team I got. Just missing it with 9 and 10 wins sitting right there. So, with that being said, Willie Jack, and while I got everybody in here, man, I'm gonna run this back to y'all real quick. If y'all are interested in Let the Film Speak weekly pick 'em, man, please throw your emails in the chat, man. I want to send y'all the information. That way I can go ahead and pick your picks from your phone, man. We doing it through the Yahoo Fantasy or the Yahoo Sports app, man. So you better go through there, pick your teams each and every week. Of course, I'm tallying them up at the end of the season from every week, and a week, and the winner gets an award, man. Willie Jack was our winner last year. So definitely, if you're interested in the chat, since y'all already in here chatting it up with us, man, put your emails in there and we'll go from there. All right. Now, Willie Jack, I need to know who are the teams that make your NFC Championship game.
Oh, NFC Championship game for me came down to the number 1 seed, Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, going back to compete in this game, and I have them going up against the Seattle Super Seahawks. So I've got my number 1 seed Eagles at home against the number 3 seed Seattle Super Seahawks in my NFC Championship game.
Okay, cool. So my NFC Championship game also has the Eagles, but I have the Cowboys as the team that they will face, man. I have that divisional matchup, man. Cowboys coming in as the 5th seed. I think they continue to make their way through the playoffs. Eagles is the number 2 seed. The Cowboys, right before that, I think they placed the number 1 seed in 49ers. I think they get past them to make it to the NFC Championship game to face the Eagles, man. The divisional matchup, man, it's gonna be tough. So, that's what I got in my NFC Championship game. And since you started up the NFC Championship, I'm gonna go to the AFC Championship. Then the AFC Championship game is going to include none other than Jay Herb at the Buffalo Bills, man. I think Jay Herb silenced a lot of the critics, man. He silenced a lot of the people that say that he ain't this, he ain't that, he ain't clutch, he can't show up in a big game. I think Jay Herb leads his team to the AFC Championship game at Buffalo to take on the Bills. Willie Jack, who you got?
Oh, I've got my Pittsburgh Steelers hosting Big Josh and the Buffalo Bills, man. Okay. Big Josh in Buffalo comes to Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship game.
Okay. All right. Which leads me to my last question of the NFL season predictions. Who are your Super Bowl matchups, man? Who are the 2 teams that are going to face off in the Super Bowl this year?
So I've got Philly moving on in the NFC Championship after defeating the Seattle Super Seahawks. And I think a game that probably starts a little more competitive than it finishes, with Philly just being too strong. And then I've got them facing Big Josh and the Buffalo Bills in a very exciting Super Bowl stylistically, man. I've got Big Josh and Buffalo beating my Steelers in the AFC Championship game, and then facing the Philadelphia Eagles, and which should be one for the ages. And then I'm a Super Bowl winner? Or wait on it.
Let's hold on that one. Willie Jack. Right. So here's who I got. I got, as I told y'all in my bold predictions episode, the Dallas Cowboys representing the NFC in the Super Bowl going up against the Buffalo Bills, Willie Jack. I was with you there, man. I got the Buffalo Bills finally getting over the hump. I think they're getting drastically overviewed or overlooked. I think they're going to not surprise teams, but they're going to remind people why they've been one of the better teams in the NFL over the past however many seasons, 3 seasons, however many seasons it's been that they've been consistently in the playoffs and competing for the AFC Championship. So I got the Buffalo Bills and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl facing off, man.
Ooh, okay. So your dog Justin Herbert wins the MVP and loses the AFC Championship.
He losing the AFC Championship, but I think it's going to be enough to get the respect. I think it's going to be competitive. He's going to have to win 2 playoff games because I got him as the I think the 2 seed. Yeah, so he's going to have to win 2 playoff games to get there. But I think he's fully capable, man. Fully capable, and yeah, he gonna get him there. Hey, he'll come up a little bit short, so that's all right. I ain't mad at it at all.
I got you. Okay, so we both expect a year for Big Josh. Okay, so Dallas and Buffalo, man. Okay, so what you thinking, man? You want me to go first on the Super Bowl? What's up?
I don't know. We might be riding with the same team. I don't know. You might be going with who you think your MVP is. And you know what? Forget it. I have got the Bills. I got Josh Allen getting over the hump, man. Josh Allen gets him a Super Bowl this year, man. He gets to the dance and he comes away with the win, man. He shows everybody that, hey, he's another guy. While Justin Herbert is going to clear a lot of his stuff up in terms of, you know, the doubters and things like that, in terms of him competing in the big game, Josh Allen is also going to hush everybody and say, hey, man, I ain't no overrated QB. I'm not just, you know, a guy that's a one-trick pony, he is going to show everybody that he is a legit, you know, top 3 quarterback and a top-tier guy in this particular league. So I'm going Josh Allen, man, Super Bowl winner over the Cowboys.
Ooh, I'm not mad at that at all, man. I'm not mad at that at all. In my version, man, I do have the Eagles just too strong, man. I've got the Eagles just too strong, too powerful, too deep, too dominant across both sides of the ball, and I think they may, in the end, just be too much for Big Josh, man. I think Big Josh goes down swinging heroically, but loses the Super Bowl, and Jalen Hurts finishes off his magical MVP season with a Super Bowl MVP as well, man. And so, yeah, man, we stepped into a time where Jalen Hurts is going to really, he may have a chance to already maybe start chipping away at Patty, man, as being the top guy. I'm thinking like Jalen Hurts, man, has another season to wait. The likes of what we've seen last year. So this year they continue on and finish the journey. MVP in the league and the Super Bowl, and man, it might be start time to kind of open that discussion back up, man. It may be time, and especially in a year that if, let's say, the Chiefs miss the playoffs, like you just said, maybe they do look a little more human. Finally, with all the changes on that team, kind of everything kind of finally starting to settle, and now maybe they do come back down to earth a little bit, man. So it could be real interesting.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack. Well, that concludes the season.
Yes, sir.
One more thing for y'all, man. We got one more thing for y'all. We got some football tomorrow night, Willie Jack.
Damn, yes,
we got some football on TV. I ain't talking about preseason. This ain't the Hall of Fame game. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a preseason game. This ain't, you know, the backups and the you know, the third teamers and guys trying to make the 53-man roster. No, these are the guys, man. These are the guys. They playing tomorrow night. We got Detroit traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Willie Jack, it's our first preview of the season, man. Willie, what you got, man?
Man, I feel like my head wants to say Detroit because I'm thinking maybe Travis doesn't play because if you don't play him on Thursday, he gets 10 days to rest. He gets a mini bye week because it's a Thursday night game, so it'll be a mini bye week, and then maybe give him that extra time to really get off to the most healthy start he can for the season the rest of the way. Or I'm sure he's going to want to play. I imagine they're probably going to do like a ring ceremony or something. I would think it's the first game of the season, so I'm sure he's going to fight and argue and claw and scratch to play in this game. And I think Andy Reid, maybe against his better conscience, probably does go ahead and let Travis play. Maybe he's not 100%. I don't expect we know Chris Jones isn't going to be there. And so what's that look like? Does Detroit – I think Kansas City is going to be juiced up and wired up enough on this opening game. I think they're going to be – the healthiest going to be – they're going to be – Travis is going to play, is going to give that team a spark. They're going to rally around the fact that Chris Jones isn't there. And I think they come out and they have one kind of last hoorah showing that, no, we're still that same team that just won the championship, has been dominating this league. I think they win a good competitive game, and I think they win at home. And I'll say the Detroit defense, I still don't know what they're going to do. I'll say 27-31 or 31-27 Kansas City at home. But then I definitely think they get this start. And then I think, like I said, man, as the season wears on, I think they start to fall hurt.
Gotcha, Willie Jack. I'm going to go the other way, man. I'm going Detroit in this game, okay? And the reason why is because I think with Chris Jones being out and when Travis Kelce being questionable, I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. But and honestly, I ain't have no choice anyway. I was going Detroit regardless because I said a long time ago before the season that Detroit was going to upset KC on the season opener. If you want to view it as an upset or not, I don't necessarily view it as an upset. But I got Detroit even more so because Chris Jones ain't playing. Detroit already has one of the better offensive lines in the league. So not only the one thing that Willie Jack, you say this each and every week last week. And one thing Jared Goff was going to do was he's going to score 30. So he's going to put up 30. I don't think that stops this week because, one, like I said, you got Chris Jones out. Who's going to stop this great offensive line? Like, I can see Chris Jones being the one that kind of mixes up some things, but you expecting Kalafdis and some of those guys to really clog up blockers? Nah, man. I expect David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs to really have a field day, and off of that, Detroit is going to be able to set up that play action and hit Amon-Ra St. Brown and Marvin Jones and some of those other guys off of that to be successful, man. So I think that they're going to be a team that is going to upset Kansas City Chiefs during this first particular this first game of the season. And I'm going 34-24, man. 34-24, Detroit over Kansas City. Detroit runs they do their thing on offense. I'm gonna put it like that.
Wow, and winning by double digits on the road in Kansas City on their celebratory opening night weekend, man. That's definitely a bold prediction, man. Getting over on Kansas City like that. If they win, I think Kansas City's still right there in the mix, man. They're not gonna roll over, but man, putting 10 on Kansas City, man, as juiced up as they're gonna be to start the season as the champs opening at home, that's a tall order.
Hey, well, look, I told y'all from a long time ago, man. So this is what we finna do, man. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Well, Willie Jack, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. We done went through the season predictions. We done talked about tomorrow's game. Hey, man, I don't know what else we can do for them.
Hey, look,
you probably need to let them know what's going on Sunday, though. You probably need to do
that. I tell you one thing. If you didn't know, now you need to know. Football is back, baby. And this Sunday coming, man, will be the first episode of the new season of your dogs, man. Chop Willie in the morning, man. Tune in with your dogs, man. Get your Sunday started off right. I know we said the same thing. We're going to say the same thing last year we said this year, man. I know you want to holler at Nate. You know what I'm saying? Nate Robinson. You know, I know you want to holler at Michael Strahan, see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I know you want to touch base with Jimmy and the boys. You know what I'm saying? But tap in with your dogs. You know what I'm saying? But tap in with your dogs, Chop Willie, man. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go through every single game. We're going to break down the yays, the nays, the pros, the cons, break it down every which way from Sunday, man, to give you our own bold takes and predictions. And, man, if y'all don't know, man, y'all should know by now, we do a little bit of this in that Sunday show. We drop a few jewels in that Sunday show now. So make sure y'all tap in, man, with your dogs, man. That's Chop Willie in the morning, man. Sundays, 10 a.m., man. Be there or be somewhere you ain't supposed to be, man. Because you know where to be, man. Sundays, tap in with your dogs Sunday morning, man. So can't wait to see y'all.
Back.
Man.
All right, Willie Jack.
No,
You gonna wrap us up, big dog.
Hey, without further ado, man, that's it. That's all, man. We came, we saw, we conquered. Y'all know what's going on. Real quick before we get out of here, man. Let me run through the rundown, man. So who was in this thing, man? Oh, already, man. Mom Dukes is in the building, man. The home team. Appreciate you as always. Our dog, man. Day one game, man. One of the members is in the building, man. Real deal. STL Sports is in the building early and often, man, holding us down. Brother-in-law Tori was in the building, man. Appreciate you, homie. He was in this thing as well, man. His baby sister's in the building as well. Damon was in this thing as well, man. And of course, man, Odie but Goody, man. Isaiah Holmes was in this thing, man. We appreciate you, man. Hey, it's been too long, man. It's been too long, so it was good to have you back in this thing, man. Picking right up where you left off for sure. Your Chargers got a lot of love today, man. So you showed up right in time, man. But other than that, y'all know what's going on, man. Damn, look. I'm going to say it one more time, man. Y'all know what I say every week, so you can say it with me at all. Excuse me. If I forgot to say your name, damn, my bad. Yeah. Charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart. You know, we think about you, big dog. Y'all know we love and appreciate all the support for sure. Man, like my dog just told y'all, Sunday we are back, man. We double dipping all the rest of the season. Sunday mornings at 10, man. Get up and win with your dogs, man. That's Chop Willie in the morning. We really love that Sunday morning show, man. That pregame show. So get your day started off right, man. Get your game day started off right. Right back like we never left, man. On Wednesday, we'll follow up all Sunday's action. Y'all know how we get down, man. So we back to regular schedule programming. The pick'em is up and ready to go, man. Chop just said he just needs y'all emails. We're gonna do it through an online Yahoo app. Is gonna make it easier for everyone. And Chop, man. Chop was doing this by hand in 2023, man. You'd have thought it was 1923. Chop was doing this by hand with a notebook and a pencil and a big magic eraser, man. Try to keep track of all this stuff, man. So we're finally gonna use a little technology. Y'all send y'all emails to my dog Chop, man. He'll get those links out to you guys. The Phil Speed Fantasy Football season is here as well, man. I tell you what, Chop, I had the worst luck. I lost my phone for one draft. I was in Mexico trying to fly back to the U.S. for my fantasy football, my Let the Film Speak draft, and it ain't gonna matter. I'd have told y'all in both leagues, it ain't gonna matter because I'm gonna do what I gotta do anyway, man. So super excited, man. The season is here. We appreciate all the love, support. Appreciate everybody coming through and rocking with us, man. The way y'all do. We appreciate all the love in the chat, man. So it really keeps us going. And other than that, man, that's it. That's all. We'll see y'all Sunday morning, man. Y'all get up, get your favorite couch spot comfy. Get on the grill if you got that type of thing, man. Have your wife make you a dope beverage and slide in and keep it with your dogs, man. And we'll talk about the game. Until then, we'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.